I'm kind of stuck here. I do need a car that's gonna pick me up. Wow, there's that perfect ride. Look at that elegance and the dominance of that car arriving. That is the Genesis G90. Wow, and there's also my driver in there. So hopefully we can get a pickup in here. Can you give me a ride? Okay. And obviously because, you know, I'm me, I need to get picked up in this car, and he's gonna open the door for me. That's wonderful, thank you very much. Whew. And door is automatically going to close. Welcome in the inside of the Genesis G90, an absolutely luxury car that is supposed to compete against German manufacturers in Germany. Well, let's see what we actually get for 116,000 euros. First of all, when you sit in this car in the back right, that's obviously where you want to sit if you're rich. Well, you press the button here for the rest button, and the car in front of you, the seat in front of you, is going to move up, and that's going to allow you to drive in absolute, or get driven in absolutely luxury in the back here. That rest is going to go down from the seat in front of me. Then there's also going to be this partition up here, which is also going to move up. And I'm 1.80 m tall, 5'11", and I can completely stretch out my legs, which is absolutely fantastic. Then you get the infotainment system in the center, or this display, where you can select a lot of different things. For instance, I've never seen this before. I can do a foot massage, and then because I'm obviously super rich and I don't walk often, I get driven, and I don't want to use my feet because obviously they want to stay wonderful. I can get the sense of how it feels to walk via the kind of massage in the front, which is absolutely ridiculous. You also have a massage function for your seats, which are also very, very comfortable and very intensive. You can move the seat in front of you however you like. You can even kind of open the shades here on the back, or you can even open the sunroof on the top here. You get speakers in the center up on the top. All of this is Alcantara as well, with also complete leather here on your handle, which is so fantastic. Then we get ambient lighting here on the side and also up on the top, as you can see a little bit right there. Forged carbon. The Bang & Olufsen sound system sounds absolutely fantastic. And we also get this infotainment display on the front. If I press here on the power, it's going to turn on, and then I can, for instance, watch how my driver is driving if he's scraping any of the rims via the cameras here, or what I've done in the center here, where there's also UVC light in here, so you can disinfect any of your stuff that you have in there. You can see this wonderful USB sticks of a Volkswagen T1, and you can plug that in, and then you can watch movies. So for instance, if I go into video here, there's going to be a Star Wars, which I've pre-downloaded onto this USB stick, and then I can just watch some Star Wars, which in my opinion is absolutely fantastic. And the most wonderful thing about it is I can plug in, for instance, or not even have to plug in, but there is going to be a cable here if you want, for instance, an aux cable to connect your headphones. I could even connect them via Bluetooth, so I can put my AirPods, connect them to that infotainment display, and then listen to the movie while he's listening to something else, for instance, some music or something. And same goes for the passenger on the left side, who's then going to be able to watch another different movie with his own headset. So you can watch two different movies, and the driver can listen to his own podcast or whatever you want, which is insanely nice in my opinion. That is a very, very great way to basically be driving here at longer distances. Headrest is also absolutely fantastic. But I think enough said around the back here, which is completely spectacular and the most enjoyable driving experience that I've ever had. Let's show you the car from the outside. And let's now take a look at the car from the outside, and definitely from the front. This car is just a menacing car on the road. We have the big crest grille in the front, which looks absolutely fantastic, with also the Genesis logo up on the top. We get that big grille and also our quad LED lights in the front, which are kind of matrix lights. They call them MLA lights, but they have adaptive high beam system. They have a nice little animation when they turn on, for instance, when you put on your high beams. Then on the bottom here, we also have that big opening as well, and it just looks absolutely fantastic. The color on here is also the Fair Beer white color, which is one of the two matte colors that you can pick up. You can pick up this white or also a darker color. For the matte colors, in total, you can choose between 10 different colors. The way the car is standing here, 116,180 euros. Starting price of the Genesis is going to be, or the G90, 112,000 euros, which is insanely cheaper than all of its competitors. We'll look at that in a second. And everything that you see in the inside, you already saw, is standard-wise equipped in this car. The only thing you can change is the color and also the interior kind of elements when it comes to the color layout in there. One thing that's also interesting below the hood is that we have the biggest clamshell hood in its, well, on the market, which is very nice because it is an absolutely insanely big bonnet, which is seamlessly integrated into kind of the side here. You can see, let's quickly take a look at the side here. I mean, just look at how big that is. You have the elements which goes around your rims or your wheels, and it's completely integrated here nicely and therefore quite big. And on the side here we do also have the extension of the lights basically, which are going to be your blinkers, which are not going to be in the side mirrors, they're going to be in that. And then we have kind of this compact looking but also quite big looking engine in here, which is the V6 3.5 liter turbo GDI and electric supercharger engine. So it's a twin turbo V6 engine producing a total of 415 horsepower and was it 549 newton meters, 0 to 100 in 5.2 seconds, top speed of 250 kilometers an hour, and with an e-supercharger it's also going to be fairly responsive on there. Quite a good engine. Previous generation did have that V8 in here, so you're just going to have a V6 in here, but still a very powerful one with those 415 horsepower. The car is quite heavy at 2.2 tons, even if you get the long wheelbase 2.47 tons, so you definitely need a little bit of a powerful engine here, which is quite nice in this one. And one of the downside is to that engine is that you can only pick up that engine. You do not have a choice, like for instance in a BMW 7 Series or something like that, where you can pick up a diesel combustion, plug-in hybrid, full EV. You just have that combustion engine, no diesel engine. That's also going to have a combined consumption of around 11 liters. With a fuel tank of 71 liters of size, you will theoretically then get 636 kilometers of range with it, which is still definitely not bad. You can get it down if you're driving on the highway with a fairly decent, well, eco-friendliness kind of driving style. When it comes to the rims, we do have 20-inch on here. You always get 20-inch. Only if you get the longer wheelbase will you get 20-inch with a different design, kind of like a Maybach design, where most of it is covered up with a couple of holes in there. Looks quite nice. Pirelli tires on there as well. Automatically foldable side mirrors, which are going to have lots of assistant features in them as well. But like I said, no blinker on here. It is going to be down there. We get these chrome elements all throughout the car here for its well, elements. We get tinted rear windows and obviously automatically openable doors as well. So if you do open them, they will go out a little bit here. There you go out a little bit. And then when you go open it all the way, you can just press on it and it will close automatically. Or if you're, for instance, in the car and press on the brake pedal, the door is also going to close, but just the driver door. Otherwise, automatically keyless entry, keyless go, stuff like that. And then obviously that sloped rear roof here, just an insanely big car. And let's take a look at those dimensions. This is the short wheelbase, so you're looking at 5 meters and 27 centimeters of length. If you get the longer variant, that's going to be 5 meters 46 centimeters, so around 19 centimeters more of length. Width is also quite interesting, 1 meter 93 wide, with the side mirrors extended 2 meters and 17 centimeters. Height of the car, fairly compact at 1 meter and 49. When it comes to the wheelbase, also 3 meters and 18, with the longer one you're looking at 3 meters and 37 centimeters. And because we do have all-wheel drive system, or we can move the rear wheels, we're looking at a turning circle of only 11.3 meters, which actually makes this car quite maneuverable. Let's talk about competitors here for a second, because there are going to be 3 main ones. That's going to be the BMW 7 Series, which is going to start at around 118,000 euros, but I spec'd them out to kind of get the exact same features you get on this car. And that's going to cost you 157,000 euros, so that's almost, around 40,000 euros more expensive than the way the car is standing here, which is quite insane. But you can get a diesel, you can get a plug-in hybrid variant or a full EV. The diesel, however, is the only engine that's going to be a full combustion engine with 299 horsepower. And the car is also going to be longer at 5 meters and 39 centimeters, so almost as long as the longer wheelbase on this car. Then you have Audi A8, which is going to start, that's an insanely stupid name in English, I just realized, Audi A8. In German it's Audi A8, which sounds a lot nicer. That's going to start at around 106,000 euros. The way configured, almost like this, 154,000 euros. The car, however, is also going to be only 5 meters and 19 of length. You can get a diesel or a combustion engine with that car. Then Mercedes S-Class is going to be 113,000 euros. With the way
it's spec'd out to be almost like this, 155,000 euros. So all quite similar in that range. However, just a lot more expensive than this car. For that, you can get a diesel, combustion engine or plug-in hybrid variant with 404 horsepower and also only 5 meters and 18 of length. And in the back, in my opinion, the car doesn't look as nice as it does in the front. I'm not personally a big fan of the design in the back, to be honest. We get fairly slim lights here which go all the way through, kind of reminding me typical like Mercedes look, and then further down as well. Genesis G90 for all-wheel drive. And we also have our quad XL, 2 exhaust pipes on the bottom, which are the elements there, but with actual exhaust pipes in the center. You cannot get a towing hook for this car, unlike, for instance, in a BMW 7 Series. You can pick one up. In here, we're not going to have the most amount of space. 368 liters, competitors are going to get a little bit more, but if I, for instance, put my golf bag in here, it is going to fit in without having to flip anything over. And the thing is, you can't flip anything over because we have the 4-seater variant in here. If you get the 5-seater variant, you will also have a tunnel in the center where you can put some longer stuff through there, which is, for instance, if you're going on a ski holiday, quite nice. But otherwise, there's not going to be much space in here, but still fairly decent. You can put like 2 suitcases in there. And we can also put 100 kilograms on top of the roof if you want, for instance, put your ski top on there to go skiing.
And now join me in the front, not sitting in the back anymore. Quality in here is also quite fantastic. You can see again the forged carbon all the way through the inside here. You can choose between, I think, 6 different variants of what you want here, and also I think maybe 6 and then 8 different kind of elements of the color here in the inside and material. For the longer wheelbase you get some more and different ones. You can even get one that is kind of done out of old newspaper and then structured to look like wood, which looks absolutely fantastic. In the front we also get massage function here for the driver. We get memory function. Because some cool buttons here on the top. For instance, we hold this button, our trunk is going to open, and here also the brightness of the display that's going to be able to be changed to that. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto is going to be wired in here, which is unfortunate because basically every single car in the Kia Hyundai kind of brand and or corporation has that integrated, and it's over the update, so I don't know why that is not integrated in here. Automatically climatization here with also, well, you can change the intensity of the kind of smell that's going to come out of a small little pocket through the climatization, which is quite nice. This is also complete glass here on your gear selector. Lots of function there. You can have some more space in the inside here, inductive charging space, and in general a very nice interior. We do get a head-up display and some other things we'll look at here in a second. If we go into reverse, we can look at the well, kind of camera, which has trajectory lines which move along, and also which is quite nice. At night it's going to project kind of a light onto the bottom here, so it helps you when you're, for instance, reversing, to show the dimensions of the car, and also from people from the outside, if they're, for instance, driving past while you're reversing out of a parking spot, they can see that there are going to be some lights on the bottom of the floor. Let's go into the sport mode and quickly just accelerate. I mean, that is quite a decent punch here. 5.2 seconds from 0 to 100. Competitors are going to be faster. For instance, a Mercedes S-Class, you can get that as a S63 as well. And also a plug-in hybrid, so just going to be a little bit more punchy. But this is completely fine and also quite responsive, and even going up to 250, it has no problem, even with the weight of the car. If you get the long wheelbase, almost 2.5 tons, maybe looks a little bit different because that's another 200 kilograms more than what this car currently has. There, the 0 to 100 value is also 5.4 compared to 5.2. The nice thing here is you can see in the digital cockpit we have the option to kind of project the front camera, and then we have augmented reality in there, so it will also show us the navigation if we do have one selected, which also the driver in the back can theoretically input something through the display. For instance, I'm a destination, and then it will show me here in the digital cockpit of, okay, I need to turn left here now and stuff like that, which is quite nice. So most of the times you will not miss an exit if you pay a little bit of attention, unlike him when he drives. Heads-up display also shows me all the relevant information. However, that's not going to show me the augmented reality. That is just going to be your fairly standard heads-up display. Safety features in here is also, there's quite a lot. Everything you basically get on this car is standard, apart from, like I said, interior looks and also the color on the outside. Adaptive cruise control, we have lane centralization, blind spot assistance. We also have that typical, you know, you blink and you have the camera integrated into the digital cockpit. One thing you will definitely notice when you put this seat down, most of the times it will block your right window, or side mirror, so you do need to adjust it to actually see out of it, like I can right now. And the thing is, the car is actually quite nice to drive in the sense of maneuverability and dimension. When you're on the outside, you feel like, okay, this is an absolutely massive car, but when you're actually in the inside, you feel like, okay, it's actually not that big. But then once you're trying to get into a parking spot, you realize, okay, it is actually quite big, because you think, oh, that parking spot is completely fine for its dimension. And then you try to park in it and you're like, okay, never mind, that's not completely fine. I thought that was an insanely big parking spot, but it's not. We do also have a couple of different drive modes. For instance, if we hold it down, we can go into chauffeur mode, which is supposed to be the most relaxing variant, and also have the best options of the air suspension, stuff like that. Just gives the most comfortable driving experience for the passenger in the rear, and it does feel quite nice. The suspension, European ones, or let's say German manufacturers, are supposed to be a little bit more comfortable when it comes to the suspension. We do have a multi-chamber air suspension in here, but apparently I've not driven a 7 Series or an S-Class or an A8, so I can't really comment on the comparison between them, but we had somebody sit in the back who has driven in the back of a 7 Series a couple of times, the previous generation, and he said that was a lot, well, not a lot more comfortable, but just felt nicer in the back with the suspension.
So what is my final verdict on the Genesis G90? It's still a brand that is quite new in Europe, especially in Germany. The G90 was only sold around 43 times last year in Germany. Before that year, I think only 11 times. But I think we'll see an increase the more the brand is being recognized. The warranty on here, well, not the warranty exactly, but the first 5 years or the first 75,000 kilometers, everything is going to be included. So everything, if you got maintenance on the car, everything is going to get fall under the warranty, so you don't have to pay a dime for it. And the car is also going to be picked up and also brought back to you. So everything is basically inclusive in those first 5 years or 75,000 kilometers. That's also another thing that is quite nice. In America, this car sold last year 1,100 times, which is quite a lot. And I mean, the price value that you're getting here compared to German competitors is insane in my opinion. Around 40,000 euros less, which is ridiculous. And I absolutely love the car, the way it looks. It does have a fairly decent powertrain in there. It's not going to be as comfortable when it comes to the ride suspension as German competitors. And I think the main reason that we don't see it that often in Germany is just when people have money in Germany, they want a German car. And that's kind of the thing that I think this has a little bit of a problem is Germans just don't want an Asian car when they're paying for a lot of money. But I think when they sit in one, they'll realize, oh wow, okay, this is actually really, really luxurious and absolutely ridiculously priced. So what do you think? Let me know in the comments. Would you buy one? Let me know. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.